Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Piera Maria and you've reached the Conscious Living channel. Welcome and thank you so much for tuning in again. So today is another one of our tools of the Practical Tools series. And today I'm going to talk about, it's a big one, they all are, but today I want to talk about surroundings. And stay with me here. So when I start with talking about surroundings, I want to touch base of the importance of our surroundings and what I mean by that. I want to touch base of the environment we are in, the environment of people, our connection to nature. At the same time, what is it that we put in our bodies? At the same time, what it is that we surround ourselves with? What do we listen? What do we watch? What do we take in? All right, let's get started. Let's get started. So I want to start with this beautiful physical temple that we have. If you haven't heard it yet by now, because I say it a lot, if you have been one of the beautiful people studying with me, then you would have definitely heard me say it in one of my lectures. But there's two extremely important factors I believe that we need to be aware of. And the first one is that in this lifetime, there's only one place we can't move away from. So we can move from city to city, from house to house, from country to country. But in this life, we have this physical body. So this is our home. So this is the physical place we can't move away from. If this is a factor, shouldn't we make this the most beautiful place out of all of them? Shouldn't we take more care of this than of any other place? And the second aspect is, in this very lifetime, there's only one relationship we can't break up with. As harsh as it sounds, we can break up with any kind of relationship. But the one with ourselves, the one with Source, this is the one relationship that we can't break up with. So why don't we make this the most loving, the most beautiful, the most divine relationship out of all of them? And from there we share, from there we blossom, from there we flourish. So let's just start briefly on touching base of our surroundings, what I'm talking about when I mean our physical body. So what I encourage you to do is to start to become, and if this is something that really interests you, I even recommend take notes and start to take note in every one of the topics that I'm touching base on in this video. How much awareness and attention are you putting on that subject within your life? What do you surround yourself with that subject in your life? And then evaluate for yourself in a non-judgmental, in a loving way. Okay, is this something I actually want to and I could work on or improve? Or is this something where, well, I'm super stoked where I'm at? And we can do this in a loving, in a non-judgmental way. Because if on every one of those topics you're like, oh my God, I'm so far away from where I want to be, don't beat yourself up for it. Celebrate that right now you have recognized that and you can start to make a change. That's all we can do always. When we recognize something, we can celebrate it and we can start to implement the change. So that's an epic experience to do. So be kind and nice and gentle with yourself along the process. So when we look at what is our surrounding with our physical body, literally, what am I putting into my body? What are the foods I'm eating? And what are the liquids that I'm drinking? And I'm no nutritionist or anything, but the one thing I do know, we all are completely individual. And what is nourishing and good for my body is going to be different for XYZ and for ABC over there. So it's different for all of us. One thing I do believe we all have in common is that fresh produce is gonna definitely do our system and nourish our system in a different way than if we only consume preserved and artificial food. This is just common sense, I believe, yeah? And then it's again individually asking, hey, what feels good for my body? Maybe dairy doesn't do my body good. Maybe grains don't do my body good. Maybe a certain vegetable always makes me feel bloated. And my good friend over there, she feels great eating that. And maybe in 6 months' time it will be different again. So allowing ourselves to feel and to notice, what does my body good? And what are the foods that I want to eat? What are the liquids I want to drink? Again, this is very broad, but water, I think, is good for everyone, yeah? Replacing water with just our sugary, fizzy drinks. So allowing ourselves to nourish the system. We're like 70-something% what our body needs, water. So that's honestly is one of my things. It's like, I still many times don't drink as much water as I feel would do my system good. It's not that I feel like it's something I should do. I just feel I have these moments where I'm like, oh, why is my energy dropping? I'm getting a bit dehydrated. I'm not grounded enough because I'm not drinking enough water. So my partner will say it's one of my one of my flaws that I'll have glasses standing around everywhere, but it really helps me to remember, okay, hey, take that sip of water again, have that drink. So be fun and be playful with this, but allow yourself to notice what is it that you're putting into this beautiful body, and then how are you doing that? Because it's only one side of the equation, for example, what we're eating and drinking, but the other question is, how do we do that? Are we standing and like just shoveling it in as fast as we can? Or are we taking our time and are we allowing ourselves to mindfully eat? Are we allowing ourselves to chew our food properly, that it is then easier for our system to digest and so on? What is our relationship for this food? Can we bless the food and the hands that made the food and allow it to really nourish our system? So I just recommend, ask yourself, start to take note and eat what feels good for you. And really, through this, develop a closer relationship to your body, because what felt good yesterday is not necessarily what's going to feel good tomorrow. So I like to, on a regular basis, ask my body, hey, do you actually feel like this? Or do you feel like something else right now? And just inquire and see what the answer is and have fun with it. So that's kind of just the aspect of what am I putting into it. I do just want to touch base. I don't have too much knowledge here, so I'm just touching base. For myself, I'm quite sensitive, and I like, look, what is it also that I'm putting on my skin, you know? I'm like the natural girl, so I like to use my shampoos, my conditioners, my body wash, my body oils, my makeup, everything's natural as possible, yeah? And I'm not saying that that's something you need to do, not at all, never. All I'm saying is start to become aware of what you choose to put in yourself and on yourself, and even the clothes that you choose to wear. Does maybe cotton, linen feel nicer on your skin than full-on synthetic clothes? And as you start to notice, you simply see what feels good for you. Where do you feel like maybe there's more lightness and your skin can breathe more easily? So just start to pay attention. Now the other aspect I want to touch base on is literally what kind of music, what kind of sounds do we take in, and what kind of things do we watch? So the music that we listen to, we really know by now, this is scientifically proven, how much influence words and sounds have onto our system. No matter if you look at sematics here, or if you look at all the experiments that are being done with putting words underwater and freezing it, look into those things. So it just shows how much influence what we listen to, what vibrations we take in, has on our entire system. So is the music we listen to, Is it more positive? Is it uplifting? Is it joyful music? Or is it very negative? Is it downgrading music? What is the kind of music that we are taking in? And no matter if the music has lyrics or it doesn't have lyrics, is there harmonics in it? We do want to be aware if there's lyrics. What are those lyrics? I grew up on hip hop. I love hip hop, for example, but again, I'm aware what kind of hip hop do I listen to and what is the message of the songs that I am listening to, and is that something uplifting and positive, or is it the opposite? Is it downgrading? Is it sexist? Is it music that is not good or harmonious for my system? So that's what I want you to ask yourself. What does the music do within you? And what feels good for your system? And then it's the same thing with, what are we watching? What are we watching? Are we constantly only watching negativity? Are we constantly only watching people arguing and fighting and putting each other down? Or are we watching things that are inspiring, that are uplifting, that are motivating? So ask yourself, and I mean this again without judgment. For my system, horror movies are not good. That's not good for my system. My system doesn't like that, so that's not something I'm gonna watch. On the other hand, if I watch an inspirational talk, if I watch even a silly love movie, I feel like, ooh, okay, my system likes that. I feel it allows me to keep expanding. So ask yourself, what is it that I am listening to? What is it that I am watching? And maybe just consider this one. Is it really going to be helpful for you to watch the news 24/7? Just saying. Then another big one is, this is a huge one, your surrounding, the people that you surround yourself with. So are the people in your surrounding, in your immediate surrounding, and then maybe even in your bigger circle, are the people that you spend your time with, are they uplifting you? Are they encouraging you? This is a huge one. Are they celebrating you? Are they motivating you? Are they inspiring you? Are they there for you in moments where you're at a low as well? But then when you're back at a high, they celebrate that just as much? That's what I want you to ask yourself. That's one thing that is so important for us as humans, our relationships with each other. Do you want to be in relationship with humans where you feel like you're constantly being downgraded, you're being put down? You might even get the feeling people want to keep you small. They don't celebrate your successes. You feel judged all the time. And I do need to mention this in my experience and even in my kind of process of doing more self-inquiry, of becoming more aware of all aspects of life. Some people that I have walked my path with a long time, our paths took on different directions, and that's okay as well. So along the way, you might lose some people, and that's okay as well. And new people come in that inspire you and uplift you. And there's a beauty about that. And then maybe you reconnect with someone again after years and so on. I always tell my students, hey, listen, you can love everyone. You can genuinely love everyone. You can have love for everyone because you know at the core, we are all the same. We're at the end of the day, we're all the same anyway. So if I love myself, I love everyone. That doesn't mean I need to like everyone. That doesn't mean that there's no specific people that I don't choose to spend my day-to-day life with. And I don't ask for their opinions. So that has to do with discernment. And I am discerning. But are the people in my environment, those are the ones that I want to be uplifted and inspired by. And I want to celebrate them, you know? Let's celebrate each other, the joy of celebrating each other. So start evaluating in a loving, non-judgmental way. Okay, what is in my surroundings? What do I feel appreciated? Do I feel valued? do I appreciate? Do I value? Do I uplift? Do I encourage? So start asking yourself that, because it's so important that knowing you are in an environment where you feel like you can flourish and you're being appreciated for that and you're being valued for that. What are the partnerships I'm in? And beauty comes out of that, you know? Beauty comes out of that. Another big one I want to touch base on, Mama Nature. And this one's so important. So no matter if you live in a city or if you live very close to nature like I do, allow yourself to find time in nature. Find, if you're in the city, find that park where there's some green. Find, if you're in nature, take that time to go out there and be with Mother Nature. We are part of it, we're not separate. But there's endless studies now of how important things are like grounding, planting your bare feet onto the grass, you know? Grounding yourself. I feel like now there's studies about bathing in the forest. Like there's so much power about being out with Mother Nature. And yes, I am one of the tree huggers. Like go, and if you feel like hugging the tree, ooh, that's a bit too much, put your hands on the tree. Start to breathe with Mother Nature and notice how she will always teach you. You are going to learn so much and you're going to come to so much more ease and contentment if you're spending, if you can, daily, if not, at least make it a weekly thing, spend time in nature. Don't see yourself as separate from nature. And I guess the last one I'm just going to like touch base on super briefly is because it is these days almost one you have to touch base on, is social media. If this is something that you spend a lot of time in, also there be discerning. What are you looking at? What are you taking in? Who are you following? And so on. Make this also uplifting, a beautiful, a positive place, instead of a place full of negativity and hatred. This is in our power to choose what we want to surround ourselves with. So what we covered today is really, hey, what are we putting in and on our body? What are we listening and watching? What are the people around us? Are we spending time with nature? What about social media? So in all of these aspects, you know, start to question, start to ask yourself, hey, okay, where do I see myself here? Where do I see myself here? Am I exactly where I want to be? Or is this something, hey, I want to start working on? And see if you can, from beginning on, do this in a loving and a kind way. Do not beat yourself up if you, in one of these aspects, are not at all where you want to be. Celebrate right now that you realized. Because as I said in the beginning, the most important relationship to start to change is the one to yourself. So notice, how are you talking to yourself? How are you being with yourself? And start always there. Talk to yourself with love. Uplift yourself, encourage yourself. Know how incredible you are, how needed you are. You would not be on this planet if you weren't needed. So start to appreciate that. Appreciate yourself, uplift yourself, and then keep growing and expanding every day. I am sending you all my love. Let me know what you think about this, how you're going, maybe which one of the areas are most relevant for you, and if I can help in any other way. I am sending you all my love from my heart straight to yours.